Namaste.
Hello everyone. Do you know that 62% of US billionaires are self-made? And in 2016, there were 25 million Americans who were starting or already running their own businesses. According to the statistics taken year 2018, almost 35% of students intend to be an entrepreneurs 5 years after completion of their degree. Hello, I'm Nikita, Joint Secretary, IMA-MSN Telangana. A very warm welcome to you all. It's a wonderful day, and I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all presented here. Being a medical student, it has been a long and a tiring process where I personally wanted to start a business of my own, balancing both my degree and making sure I have some sort of income. But I never knew how to get started. To everyone who had the same thought as mine, you need not worry anymore. Adventure Park is here for us. Adventure Park is India's student-focused incubator. They help to convert the mere ideas into market-ready businesses. Once you get selected, it becomes their goal to launch your company. They will provide you with all the help you need to launch your own company. Help with legal papers, technical help, a beautiful office to work, and then so much any other. And all of that free of cost. Yes, you heard me right. They don't charge you a single rupee throughout the process. That's what makes them special. And they are unlike any other incubator you come across. Now, without a further ado, I will turn the time over to Deepa to introduce today's speakers. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, Nikita. And I'll quickly start off by thanking IMA-MSN and and Seema for actually making this event possible. It really means a lot to us. Well, and for the people listening, thank you for joining us, and please stay until the very end. I'm pretty sure you will not regret it. It will be worth it, and maybe the entrepreneur living inside you might actually come to life after this event, and within a few years, you will actually be an entrepreneur. Well, I am Diva Ansari, a first year medical student in Shadan Medical College. I also am a member in IMA-MSN, and I also work with EdVenture Park. EdVenture Park is just 1 year old, and in this 1 year, they have already launched 10 companies and I've worked with 70 plus people and in helping them launch their companies. I'll give you a few examples. Roll Store, a company which will make your mechanical normal wheelchair into an automatic one. Plasticons, they make plastic bricks. Jasmine.app, providing you with any female hygiene product within 30 minutes. Good Mind, everything you need for your mental health is on this app. iWater, providing standardizing water in all the water plants for her safety, providing jackets for the protection of women and even men in the future if you guys want. Um, so all these companies that I just named, and there are so many more that I cannot name right now, uh, are all launched by literal students like you and I, and they they didn't even hatch from their own eggs. Like, yes, I'm a medical student and I know my science. They did not even hatch from their own eggs, and they are already doing wonders. Unfortunately, I wasn't with them throughout the process to see their growth. But that's not a problem because today we are joined by the oldest member of EdVenture Park, the person who joined here first, who has seen it all and now has managed to become one of the most important pillars of EdVenture Park. Let me please introduce you, our incubation manager, Ilyas Shahan. Ilyas?
Thank you so much, Diva. Thank you so much, guys. It's amazing to be here. Um, it's actually lovely. Thank you so much. So, not taking a lot of your time. I have a small presentation, but then I'll also, let's just have a heart-to-heart conversation. I'll try to share whatever we do at Adventure Park in the simplest and easiest way possible. There's nothing complex, but then I would like to share the experience and story with you all. I feel connected with you all. So, before jumping into the fact and information of what Adventure Park is exactly, I'll tell you a story of a person I know personally. Okay, so when he was a student, what he searched in his web was how to make extra pocket money. So what he did is he searched all those techniques and things of how you can make extra pocket money, because he was doing his graduation from another state. He is originally from Hyderabad, but he was in a different state, and he searched for all those things. And one of the methods he found was trading. So what he did was he taught himself how to trade to make extra pocket money, and he used to trade in his college while he was pursuing his graduation. And at that time there were no laptops and computers so accessible as how we have it right now. So he used to go to an internet cafe where he used to take his trades and trade there. But the internet cafe would close at 9 p.m. sharp, and most of the times his trades used to be open before he leaves the cafe. Right, 9 p.m. the shop owner closing the shop, and he had to keep his trade open. And the next day he would, go under losses. So that was a problem which he faced, and that was costing him money, right? It was a problem which he wanted to solve, the problem which he faced personally. So what he did is he thought of making something which can automate his trades, which means at a set time or a set price his trades will sell automatically. He doesn't have to be there manually and sell those trades himself, right? So he taught himself coding. He taught himself how to code in back in 2005, I guess, 5 or maybe 7. And he taught himself how to code, and he made a algorithm which would automate his trades, right? And when he was 21 or 22, I believe, he sold his first company to an Australian-based company. And while in college, or being the age of as old as us, he sold his first company, right? That guy is my CEO. He's right here in this call. That is Meraj. And the whole point is saying the story is, what's a startup? Basically, it's nothing but a solution to a problem which you face, or which you see that people face. You see a lot of people facing that problem, right? That's nothing but a solution, an approach towards solving that problem, right? Adding an element of innovation, you will be solving the problem. That is nothing but a startup, right? And basically it starts, you just have to be observant enough, and it starts with a problem statement, or it simply starts with an idea. uh, with problem statements, we have so many more examples. For example, take WhatsApp. The founder was facing problem because his wife used to ping him continuously, asking him where he is. So what he started with was just a simple application which would show in a status where he is. For example, in a gym, that would just be a status. That is how WhatsApp started, and it figures out key there are a lot of people who are facing the same problem, right? Red Bus, Fanendra Sama, he's from Hyderabad again. He wanted to go back to Hyderabad during Diwali. He couldn't book his ticket because he had to run from one aggregator to another aggregator. He used to call the bus driver, check for the availability. It was all very time taking and lengthy. He faced that problem. He created a solution called Red Bus, and he sold his company for nearly 800 crores, right? So basically it just starts with an idea, right? You observe a problem, or you face a problem yourself, or you have an idea, very simple idea. It starts with that, and that's very important, starting point. Now basically you heard that term incubator, right? Incubators, they help startups, support startups to grow, to scale. And there are more than 50 incubators right now in Hyderabad. But usually, what an incubator looks for when they are supporting a startup is proof that that person is very serious with his or her startup, right? They look for proof because they are investing their time, their energy, their money, everything they have for the growth of that startup, right? So one thing they look for is certificate of incorporation. Like, my startup is incorporated, which means I am serious about my startup and I'm going to give my 100% to it, and that's a proof of seriousness I have, right? Basically, this is what happens in incubator. This is how they work, but we can't apply the same to the students, right? You are a student. The most important part, or the most important bit, is the conversation starting. Is you starting early? Is you working on it? Is you getting on that journey? It's super important, right? But we can't expect a certificate of incorporation from a student. So EdVenture Park is a student-focused startup incubator where we welcome raw ideas. We welcome students come in with just an idea, nothing else. The idea doesn't have to be concrete. There has to be no sales. There has to be no revenues. You don't have to come in with the list of customers you have, or a 5-year or 10-year plan. You just have to come in with an idea. Simple as that. And we will work with you, help you shape your idea from just an idea to a value and revenue generating startup. In very less words, this is exactly what we do, right? We want the conversations to get started. We want students and people to start early. We want you guys to know. We want everyone to know that there is no reason for you not to start up, especially for students. We believe that being a student, it is the best time when you can start, when you can start experimenting with your ideas, when you can work with your ideas, because you have that time, you have that energy, and you can surely give it a try. You never know what happens, right? It starts with an idea, but how does it turn out is a different thing. वो successful होता, successful नहीं होता, that is a different thing. If we start thinking about that from now on, basically it is going to stop us from pursuing that further, right? You basically never know. For example, the best example which we always take at Adventure Park is Airbnb. Now imagine me coming to your house, and I know I'm pitching in front of you, or I'm pitching brother, I have an idea wherein if you have an empty room at your house and you let a stranger live at your house for one night, how would that be? Would you be good with it? You would probably hit me. How can I allow a stranger live in my house for a night? Stranger, right? I don't know him. That's an idea of Airbnb, but then that's $1 billion company. It's the market which proves you right or wrong. The most important point is you starting up and the market letting you prove if this will work or this will not work. Leave that to the market. From our end, we have to put in that efforts and that hard work, and we have to launch a startup and let the market prove this is something that people need or not. Because you basically it's not very easy you figuring out what people want. no matter how much hard you work on your startup, no matter how many hours you put in, but if that is something which people don't want, that is something which people don't want. They won't use it, right? But then when you start up, when you work on something which you want to work on, this is basically your passion. No one will give their whole time in, no one will give that, time and energy and put in that amount of time, that amount of commitment and hard work, unless and until this is something which they really want to do. Unless and until they are passionate, they're not going to do it, right? And no matter what happens and no matter who they are, or their situation or some circumstances, they are going to give their 100% because this is something they want to do. And that journey is beautiful. That journey is life changing. That journey is something which will, really is always going to help you no matter what. That journey is always going to be beneficial for you no matter what. No matter if you fail or succeed, that journey is going to play a big and a very important role in your life, right? So the same way, we want students to come in, we want people to come in with raw ideas, give it a try, right? uh, and we always say ki if you're a student, you don't have to limit yourself, no matter you're a engineering student or you're a medical student or what your marks are, grades are. Sometimes I get these questions ki sir, I don't have more than 80% of marks. I'm like, bro, we don't even care about your marks, because that doesn't define you. And what we just look for is you being passionate enough, and you being passionate enough, and you want to give it a try, right? It doesn't matter. Being a student, you should not limit yourself, and there has to be no reason for you to limit yourself. There are two ways where you win. First, you win mentally, then you win physically. But if my first step is key, I think ki I can't do it, I'm lost at that point itself. I didn't even take that first step. We want you guys to take the first step. We want everyone to take that first step, and the further journey, let's do it together. Let's do it together. We are going to be on your side, hand holding you side by side, and let's achieve and make great things together. That is what we say. So as I said, EdVenture Park is a student-focused startup incubator wherein we work with student entrepreneurs and a few there who are not students as well. Mainly with student entrepreneurs who just have ideas, who solve problems, who add innovation, who add value, and the reason for them to do is do whatever they want. They're trying to do is completely different. It's not at all money. It's about they finding passion in that. It's about they wanting to add value and they wanting to solve problems for people, right? So, how do we do it? Basically, if you want to get into EdVenture Park, you have an application to fill, by which you can get into the Pre Incubation Program, which is specially designed for you students. It is specially designed and specially curated for you guys, looking at your schedule in mind. Which means, so basically, it's a 4-month long program wherein we'll be taking you through the fundamental tracks of building a company, wherein we'll be talking more about validating your idea, your vision for your idea, and how you can shape it, how you can turn it into a reality. We'll be talking more about business models, revenue models, legal and compliances, marketing, sales, being connected and dealing with real-time users, right, solving their problems. So it's a pre-incubation program, 4 months long, specially designed for you. Why is that? Because it's every alternate weekend. We don't we program is every alternate weekend wherein we meet, wherein we have exclusive sessions and workshops, wherein we'll be working and learning together with all those points together, and tasks which are specially designed for you. It's every alternate weekend, which makes sure that your other life commitments are not disturbed. I mean, we are not asking you to leave everything and come here. We are not asking you to ignore your academics or other commitments and just give your 100% here. We are wanting you to take that first step, and we are ready and willing to take 11 steps for you guys. So what happens in the pre-incubation program, we guide you completely. There is complete guidance. It's personalized, it's on demand, super subjective to your startup, and then we provide you with all the support you need, uh, and conduct exclusive workshops, exclusive sessions for you guys. Now, you need an investor to take your idea forward. We connect you with real-time investors. No matter if you're a student or you're what, you deserve it, you get it. We connect you with professional real-time investors. There are already startups who have raised investment uh, while being a student and while building their companies while they are in college, right? A tailor-made pre-incubation program for you guys. And as I said, the journey is beautiful because You get to learn so many things, self-learning, so many super essential things, and it's all real time. There is nothing theoretical, I can say. It's all real time. You're gonna love it. Now, a few of the success stories from Adventure Park. So these are companies led by student founders who are solving problems. Diva already told you about Plasticons. They are making construction materials, mainly bricks from recycled plastic. Uh, an initiative or an approach to fight the plastic pollution problem, which means these bricks are made out of recycled plastic, which are lighter, durable, stronger compared to conventional bricks. It's more affordable, and it takes less time to build that wall compared to the conventional method. Right? Same way, Biodeform. It's a company which is producing biodegradable bags. Bags would biodegrade in 180 days naturally. It is not made from plastics. It is as good as a plastic bag, as strong as a plastic bag, but not made from plastics. It's made from natural ingredients. So another initiative to fight the single-use plastic problem. And these are the three companies who have raised investments. iWater is standardizing the local water vendor network to provide you with pure and very good drinking water, like quality drinking water. More of these, you know, all these companies, they started with just an idea, roll soul. As Deepa mentioned, they are making a kit which will turn any manual wheelchair into an automatic and powered wheelchair, joystick control, voice control. You know what they started with? They came in with an idea of making a Photoshop app. They just started with an idea, with a Photoshop idea, and then they moved on or pivoted to Rollstone. It is basically the founder who makes things happen, and the pre-incubation program is completely founder focused. Adventure Park is completely founder focused. We don't look at your ideas mainly; we look at you, and we focus on your growth instead of just the ideas growth. So it's basically the founder who can make any idea happen, and founders are super important always. And Rollstone came in with some idea, but now they're working on great things. They have Vinci Hospital as their first client, making great progress. And all these startups, they just started with an idea or a problem which they have faced personally, right? Now you have an idea which you want to work on, you want to take it forward, you want to, create history. How does it work? How do you get in? You just have to go to www.adventurepark.com. There is an online application, a simple online application wherein you have to share your idea, more details on your idea. Once your application is submitted, if it is shortlisted, we call you for an interview. It's more of a casual conversation where we'll be talking more about your idea and where we'll be understanding more about you and your idea, right? And if you're selected, then you're welcome to Adventure Park. So every cohort, we select 25 startups after every 4 months. Out of more than 200 or 300 applications which we get, we select 25 startups for the pre-incubation program. As I said, it's 4 months long, so it's 17 weeks long. Every alternate weekend, it's real time and it's intensive and immersive. So till today, in 1 year, we have worked with 77 student startups, which means more than 180 student entrepreneurs working on different problem statements, working on creating innovative solutions, creating beautiful products which are adding more value, more convenience, and solving a lot of problems for a lot of people. And I have been working with these student startups from a year, and these are super passionate founders who want to make it happen, who have started early, which is the most important point. Starting early, their skill set is way ahead compared to their age group, and they are, doing great things. And irrespective of the startup working or not, these are amazing founders who can make things happen, and they're going to do that eventually. So I hope I gave you a clear picture of what Adventure Park does and what we actually do. With that, I also have a video for you guys. It's basically the journey, the 1 year journey, which will be covering up in. It's a video for you guys. I would like to present that. So recently we celebrated Foundation Day. There's a video for that, sharing the journey, 1 year journey in less than 2 minutes. So is the screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. I hope you guys liked it. So that's it from my end. I hope I was clear. Thank you so much for being this patient with me. Over to Diva.
Thank you, Elias. It was wonderful. But hold on, guys. The highlight of the event is yet to come. Our second speaker. He also started as a student incubator himself and now is a really successful businessman. I'll just read something for you. He started the India's first coding bootcamp, the Hacking School and Code.in, founded India's first student-focused startup incubator, EdVenture Park, and he's also an innovation fellow with Government of Telangana. All of these things, and he's still among us. And as Nikita mentioned earlier, that Adventure Park does everything free of cost. That means that we are not really seeing that Miraj is actually having a visible profit through all of this. Then why does he even care about helping you with your ideas? Why does he care so much about the development of your idea, the success of your company? Because he strongly believes that the development of your idea will one day lead to the development of this country, India. And so many more questions like तो हम लोग क्या करना है इससे मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स का तो क्या लेना देना नहीं है इससे there's so many more questions that don't worry I'll get the perfect person to answer it for you guys. Our CEO, the inspiration for everyone working in Adventure Park, Meraj Faheem.
Thank you so much, Deeba. Thank you for making me nervous, and thank you for calling me highlight. Okay, so firstly, thank you so much, IMA-MSN, for having me, for having my team, for having Adventure Park. It's a pleasure, talking to you guys. Thank you, Nikita, Deeba, Seema, and everybody who, worked to make this happen. I have a very soft corner towards this because I wanted to be a doctor. I couldn't. So India, either you're a doctor or an engineer. So I jumped to doing engineering from whichever college allowed a science guy to do BTech. So that is how I technically started, doing it. And when I was in engineering, engineering is a completely different life in itself. And that's when you realize there are millions of engineers in India trying to create a career for themselves, and the life is pretty unpredictable and adventurous, right, if I were to put it positively. So having been there, done that, like Elias said, in fact Elias stole many of my lines. uh, so having been there, done that as a student, primarily I was looking to make a little bit of more pocket money and all of that, right? So one of the most important things, what I have realized is, your ability to do something, you wanting to do something, has got nothing to do with your degree, has got nothing to do with your current engagements, or has got nothing to do with who you are or where you are coming from. Has got nothing to do with what you know and what you don't know. There is only one thing that matters, and it is how genuinely you want to make it happen, right? Since we are an incubator, we have been working with a lot of startups. I have been an entrepreneur for about 11 years now. I did 4 companies, I sold 2 companies, I shut 2 companies. So I can say I have about a decade's experience working on ideas, trying to so just 4 startups, but tens of products, right? More than 15 products and projects that I was involved myself. So working with the government of Telangana, this one, super strong realization that hit me was the fact that for you to actually make a change, for you to actually, move the needle for the country, you have to actually move away from whatever you're thinking right now and take a step back and do bigger and better things for a lot of people. Right now, the most important realizations, that struck up is, how can you be directly contributing to India's economy, India's GDP, India's employment index or unemployment index actually, right? How can you help increase the per capita income of the country? How can you increase the health index of the country, and so many other indices, right? And all these things boil down to one simple thing, right? Identifying a problem statement and solving it, right? Everything that you see today, guys, literally everything that you are using today, everything that you see today, everything that you consume today started because somebody had a problem that he or she wanted to solve and solved, right? And that grew big. All the examples that Ilyas took, right? WhatsApp, Airbnb, and all these examples, literally you name it, all these people, the only difference they made, or the only difference that they brought in, was the fact that they did not sleep over these problems. They chose to pick them up, they chose to work on it, they chose to solve that problem. And please hear me out, okay? They did not manage to solve it in the first go. They had their own series of challenges, they had their own series of struggles. They hustled their way to wherever they are right now, right? WhatsApp, we can't live without WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp has become a super integral part of our daily lives, right? But how did it happen? Like Ilya said, it started from a simple pain point where Brian Acton did not was kind of irritated with his wife's questions, where are you, where are you, where are you, and when are you coming home, right? So he just wanted to automate that bit. He created an app that updated his status, right? At the gym, driving a car, in the office, etc., right? And you can still find those statuses on your WhatsApp. And that thing actually grew to what WhatsApp is today. Facebook bought it for more than $25 billion. Okay, a chat application that was not generating any revenues was bought by Facebook for more than $25 billion, billion with a B, guys. Right now, it's not about the value, it's not about the valuation, it's not about the product. It is about the problem, right? If you take a step back and you start looking at things, you will realize 50% of the time that we spend on internet goes to Google, and other 50% of the time that we spend on internet goes to Facebook, right? And a little bit to Microsoft and other platforms as well. Now, what we have to understand is, this is not just tech specific. This does not have to be tech specific at all. And all these companies have significant amount of investments in med tech, health tech, life sciences, and so many other places. Because, to be very honest, everything boils down to the quality of life, everything boils down to health, everything boils down to who we are as a person and what do we need to improve our life, quality of life, and also trying to increase the longevity factor, right? So how do we do all these things? And if there is somebody to actually effectively answer these questions, if there is somebody there is to effectively solve these questions, then it's you guys, the doctors, the medicos, right? And to be very honest, experience, the more you practice, the better you will get at it. That's a given. But then what is important is you guys start thinking about it consciously from now on, right? If you're not thinking in that direction, if you're not starting to build that site, if you're not starting to think about, what, let's start identifying problem statement, and let's start putting those together, let's start brainstorming solutions for the problem statements that we are shortlisting. How can we do it? Can we collaborate with someone to solve these problems? Can we build something around it? Can we create something around it? How do we solve it, is the question. And if you're not thinking consciously about that question, guys, I'm not saying those problems will not be solved. I'm not saying those systems will not come into being. I'm not saying nobody will solve them, or those problems will be left undone. No, you're wrong. and I will be wrong if I say that, it will be done by somebody else who's more conscious, who's more aware, and who is paying little bit of more attention, right? So that is all it's going to take. The only thing that is expected of you guys right now, okay, a lot of you might have ideas, a lot of you might not have ideas, but you know what I want, I'm requesting, I'm hoping you guys start moving forward, at least after this podcast, at start being a little more observant, right? Wherever you are, you can be in your college, you could be in your classroom, you could be in your OT, you can be in your hospital, you can be in your lab, anywhere, right? Wherever you are, just be a little more observant to the problems around you. Okay, start looking at start giving those problems a more closer look and see if you can come up with a solution. And then once you have that problem at hand, right, try to validate it, try to see if there are more people who are having those problems. It could be the lab in charge, it could be, let's say the quality of delivery in your class is not so good. Maybe you're not just you're not alone in identifying, that is a problem, and you are making it tough, right? There can be other people, so see if you can solve that. There are like hundreds of problem statements waiting, like floating around, waiting to be discovered and solved, right? Now that's where you identifying those problem statements and trying to solve it, take it to the market, is going to unlock the real pot of gold for you guys. That is what is going to unlock gold mine for you, and that is exactly what is going to move the economic needle of the country. That is exactly how you're going to improve the quality of life for not just yourself, but for your family, people around you, your society, your state, and eventually your country. And then your problem is, your solutions will go out to improve the state of affairs for literally a lot of other people in the world as well, right? So it's huge. But everything that is huge today, right? Amazon is a $1 trillion company, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company, Google is very close to be a $1 trillion company, but all these companies were once $0 companies. Okay, all these ideas were once $0 ideas. So what I am requesting you guys is to start, thinking about those 0 million and $0 billion ideas, guys. Okay, pay attention what I'm saying. Start being observant and start identifying, those 0 million and $0 billion problem statements and ideas. Start talking about it, start discussing it with your friends. And if you don't have friends, make me your friend, right? Adventure Park is your friend, and we would be more than happy to brainstorm with you. I'm not saying we have all the answers for all the questions. I would be an idiot if I said that. But what I can promise you is we can find all the answers for all your questions, right? We might not have the answers right now, but we will get the answers for you, right? That is what we do at Adventure Park. And if we can't find the answer for you, we will connect you with the right people from not just in the state, in the country, but anywhere, from any part of the world, to get you the right answers, right? That is exactly what we do. We want you to start thinking about it. And this is not just about you and me. Like I told you, this is one of the methods how we can improve the state of affairs in our country, how we can position or put our country on the global map of innovation, right? That is exactly how we have to become part of the solution and not part of the problem, right? That is exactly how you will end up creating a lot of jobs for a lot of people, that eventually automatically solves the economic problem of the country, which in turn will solve a lot of other problems of the country, right? Financial freedom is the key to half of the problems, right? So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I want you guys to start thinking on the lines of. Ilyas spoke about one thing, right? The Airbnb thing. I'm not sure how many of you got it, but I'll just, take a step back and revisit, that thing. So when Airbnb actually started, okay, Airbnb is for those who don't know what Airbnb is. Airbnb is a platform that, you know, finds you short-term rentals in new cities wherever you're visiting for a night or 5 nights, right? And these are non-hotel based rentals, so you can find a room in an apartment or in a flat with a family. Okay, now you tell me this idea. Would you How many of you think this is a good idea? you know Getting a bed in somebody's home for, let's say, 1/10 of the cost of a hotel. Would you do it? Just answer it in a yes or a no. Drop in your answers in the chat box, guys. Okay, Ghazal Siddiqui says yes. Hmm. No. Okay. Rahul Sharma with a knife and a pepper spray, maybe. Okay, we can upsell that. Sarah Fatima, yes, especially if you're a traveler. Unsafe, maybe. All right. So to be very honest, the idea is ridiculous. Okay. You uh, paying to stay for a night in somebody else's home is technically a ridiculous idea originally. Okay. But then there is this concept wherein until you don't do it, you won't know it. Okay. Now Airbnb is a billion-dollar company, right? It is a public company now. And right from starting, right from when these ideas, when these guys got this idea until until going IPO, then the story of these founders is, super inspiring, not just for the fact that this was not even their original idea. Okay, so this is the point. Your ideas can be ridiculous, right? But if it's your baby and you believe in it, you have the conviction, then what I'm requesting you guys to do is give it a fair try. Do it, make it happen, but then don't get married to it. If the market is telling your idea is ridiculous and it's not going to work, then probably it's not going to work, right? You have to be open to feedback. You have to learn to take criticism. You have to learn to understand what is the market saying, and you have to actually able to read between the lines, right? And these are all the things that actually make it happen. And there are not just Airbnb, right? There are so many ridiculous platforms that are making millions of dollars. And if you guys start paying, a little closer look to it, it's not about the money, right? It's about how did they make it happen. And now those are the platforms and the companies that are generating a passive income for it. And this is my last point to you guys. If you guys can come up with a problem statement that is going to help a billion people, then your chances of becoming a billionaire are super high, which means you can still continue to practice. You can still continue to practice medicine, which you want to do, and you should continue to do it, right? I'm not asking you to change your track or deviate, right? What I'm saying is this could be helping a billion people. This can also help you generate billions of dollars, right? There is immense opportunity with penetration of technology, with so much innovation around, with so much support and help around. You can make it happen. There's no reason for you to not do it. So lastly, the only thing that I'm requesting, the only statement that I want to make it is, there are thousands of people starting up every day. Please start thinking about it, you yourself. You guys are one of the most smartest people whose chances of success, whose chances of succeeding are super high, just inherently, just by the chances of your success are super high. Let me just put it there, right? So technically speaking, just by the virtue of your the nature of your work, you guys can make it happen. So there's no reason for you to not to try. Adventure Park is here to support you, and like Biba said, I would like to reiterate, this is absolutely free of cost. Okay, we do not charge a penny to for the incubation program or anything else, actually. the space is free. You can come, you can work. The whole program is super structured and super subjective, which means there is no one size fits all, which means we sit down with you, we understand what you are working on, and how do you go ahead with it. We figure out your steps 1, 2, and 3. So technically speaking, we handhold you, we walk the path with you and make it happen. So this is my super humble request for you guys. Start thinking on those lines. You can make it happen. There are so many people doing it already, and you should be doing it, and there's no reason for you guys to not do it. On that note, I would like to open the floor for questions. uh, can somebody from my team post the questions from the YouTube
Yep,
in
that's
here? I'll
absolutely
Yep,
right.
start taking them one
I'm
by
Let's
one.
proceed with it.
yep, I am posting all the questions from YouTube. I'm here, Meraj.
All right. Awesome. So let me get started. When to expect interviews? So interview date will be announced on our Instagram page. Please follow us on Instagram. Adventure is our handle. The date will most likely be the first week of June. The application date for you guys will be slightly different. Um, so please, move fast and apply. Um, I live in New Delhi. How can I come and work in Hyderabad? Satyam, what I would suggest is submit your application form. By the nature of your idea, we can try and see how do we do it, and if your idea is something that we really have to sit down in person and work on it, then that will be a different case. But whatever may be the case, I think we have to first evaluate it. So I suggest you submit it. We can get it started. We can get started from there. Question about the FX trader. If the internet center closed at 9 p.m., how were his scripts being executed after 9 p.m. when it was closed? Curious cat. It was server based, which means the script was hosted, which means it's not like websites close by 9 p.m., right? You can access any website 24 by 7, 365 days a year. So the script was hosted. It was not local. So yeah, it was running on the server. I hope I've answered your question, Curious Cat. Um, discuss your idea with 100 people before starting any startup. Absolutely. Discuss your idea with 100 and more people, but then you also have to know the art of taking feedback, which means you have to understand that whatever feedback people give you, they are going to give that feedback based on their understanding of your idea, their understanding, their perspective, and their ability to evaluate and analyze your idea. So don't just take them for their word. You have to be smart enough to understand what to take and what not to take. So yes, also family and friends do not count. Please do not take advices and feedback, at least especially about starting up, from your family and friends. They mean they they are your well-wishers, and that is technically what blinds them to evaluate your ideas in an unbiased way. So please do not do that. Hiba Khan, what do you feel about connecting the old big television to the Wi-Fi? It's a major problem right now, and it is also causing a lot of electronic waste. Okay. What I understand from your statement, Hiba, is the fact that already a lot of TVs are, now smart TVs and directly work with the Wi-Fi with a dongle. If not, there is Amazon Fire Stick, there is Chromecast, there are solutions. But if you're talking about something else, I would love to know more about it. If I got you wrong, I would love to discuss this further. And if you have an idea, I strongly recommend you should submit your application. How do you keep it free for all? Do you take any equity from the company in return? We take equity from the company, yes, but only if we get you 500 rupees, right? right? Which means the program is still free of cost. And how do we manage to keep it? Just like that, we do it. We are a not-for-profit foundation, and yep, we managed to do it. I think a lot of people can do it for free, can offer it for free. It's just that you need to have that motivation, and you need to have that intent. You have to have that objectiveness to why you are doing it, and it should also be worth it. Who you are doing it for, and those people value it or not. So that ways we are pretty fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be working with the kind of founders and entrepreneurs I am working with at Adventure Park right now. So yeah, it is free. I hope I've answered your question, Curious Cat. Again, Satyam Singh, does Adventure Park support coding, web development, app development? So support coding, I don't know if you mean, I think you meant to say if we teach coding. We technically do not teach you how to code, but then we can direct you in the right direction how to learn how to code. But then eventually, Satyam, it all boils down to development of your product with code or without code, right? So there are different ways to build your application without you knowing how to code, right? So you can get it done that way too. So it is super subjective. Again, like I mentioned before, we have to sit down, and then that's where we will be able to suggest you the best way forward. I have an idea, but not a plan or a framework. Shall I work on it first and then apply for the interview? Maybe after learning more about it. Tulika Mohanty. No, Tulika. So one of the most important things that you have to do is you have to know and understand is the fact that you are never going to be super ready. Okay. Every day you will continue to learn something new. So stop chasing perfection. Be good and fast now. So whatever your idea is, you don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a framework. If you have it, it's great. If you don't have it, no problem, right? You can submit your idea in whatever shape and form it is right now. We'll start talking about it, and then we will figure out what your plan should be like. And that's exactly what we one of the most important things that we do with founders and entrepreneurs is the fact that we tell you your steps 1, 2, and 3, what you should be doing after coming up with the idea, and so on and so forth, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Apply immediately. Saksham Singhal, I live in Delhi and my college is in Mathura. How would I be able to receive classes in Hyderabad? Good question, Saksham. I've answered this question for Satyam right now, just right now. So what I suggest is it's going to be super subjective with respect to what you are working on. We can probably figure out a way to work together. And so one important thing that you guys have to understand is we have a cohort limit of 25. We don't take more than 25 teams, which means we pick up teams with the right founders working on the right ideas. So, and if we believe you are the right founder working on the right idea, then we will figure out a way to work with you. You can be in Delhi, you can be in Mathura, you can be on Mars, right? We will figure it out. um every time I get an idea, some work has already been done on it. Satyam, that's totally fine, right? We have 7.5 billion people on Earth. If you are waiting for a unique idea, something that nobody has done so far, then your chances, just by the law of probability, the chances of you coming up with a unique idea is like super low, right? So you don't have to worry about it. What is going to be important when you come up with an idea is the art of execution, right? Anybody who's going to execute it in the best possible way is going to win. Doesn't matter how many people are doing it, right? So it's okay if your idea is already taken. Don't worry about it. I really think you should start working on it. You have to be just 20% different from that idea, right? 20% better than it. So, and when I say 20%, I'm not talking about discount, okay? uh, Discount is not a feature. You cannot get better by just being 20% cheaper, right? So you have to come up with, something that makes your product or your service or your offering, at least 20% better and mind blowing from your competitors. So just to reiterate, it doesn't really matter if your idea is already taken. If you can it, but will. Rahul Sharma, is it not risk startup before completing your graduation? If it fails, there won't be a personal financial cushion to fall on. On the contrary, Rahul, this is the best time to actually work on your idea. You will continue to you will be graduate, right? I'm not asking you to not focus on your academics. I'm not asking you to leave your academics. But the chances of people working on their ideas and becoming successful after their graduation is super low. Your chances of succeeding, again, just by the virtue of number of experiments that you can do to successfully complete your idea, is the highest when you are still in college. So no, your chances of succeeding are high. The risk is more after you graduate. So yeah, that is how it works. How to start working on an idea, Shivam Kumar. Like I told you, Shivam, that is exactly what we figure out based on your idea. It is super subjective. It depends on what you're working on, what your steps 1, 2, and 3 should be. So we sit down with you, we figure out, your execution plan, and that is when and how you start working on your idea. Ilya Khan, yes, Instagram is Adventure Parks, and Meraj is mine. I would be more than happy to connect with all of you on my Instagram. More than happy to answer your questions in my DM if you have any. Rahul Sharma, how beneficial is an MBA before starting up, or is it just another degree which plays little role in starting up? Absolutely right, Rahul. Uh, People at Adventure Park know my affection towards MBA. That's sarcasm. Um, it's just another degree, and it's not going to add any tangible value to your starting up experience, right? Once you start up, and God forbid if your startup fails, you would be more experienced than a guy or a girl holding an MBA from whatever college. So no, MBA is not going to play any role in your starting up experience. Nida Jilani, how do you take ideas seriously? Well, I have had plenty of ideas, but then I can't do anything but disregard them as either. Okay. Uh, you are absolutely normal, Nida. Okay. 99.9% of the times, people who came up with ideas, it sounded very silly and ridiculous to them themselves, right? So you are part of the majority, so you're not alone, right? You're unless and until your idea looks weird and silly to you, you are, again, like I told you, pretty normal. If you think, what, you have the best idea in the world and there is nothing that can beat you in the world, that's when you become part of the minority, and your chances of losing uh, are high there. So like I told you, silly ideas are welcome. In fact, I have a soft corner for silly ideas. Shazia Hussain, I have 2 ideas. Can I apply with both the ideas? Absolutely. And you don't have to submit another application form. You can submit both the ideas in the same presentation. So one application, any number of ideas. Sayyid Wasif Hussain, isn't it risky to share your ideas with others who could use it before you can develop on it? No, Wasif, I have a different take on it, right? If somebody can, just like that, pick your idea and start working on it and be successful, then I think he or she deserves to own that idea, right? You can not just have an idea and sleep over it. So tens of people can come up with an idea, but anybody who's executing, who's working on it, who is hustling to make it successful, to make it happen, deserves to win and deserves to own that idea. So we have to understand that fact. So no, it's not risky, and not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can execute your idea, right? So have faith in yourself. Shoaib Ahmed, what is your personal opinion on drop shipping? Is it a good idea? Can this work in India? See, Shoaib, drop shipping is not bad, but when you can and when you should be thinking big things, then why think drop shipping, right? You're not creating anything in drop shipping. You're not innovating anything in drop shipping. There is no problem that you're solving there. It's a service, right? You can make a few bucks there. So I don't know. I don't feel for it. I'm not saying you should not do it. If you want to do it, please do it. But then uh, this is not something that you should be focusing or you should be investing your time on, right? That is my take on it. Tony Stark, that's right. I don't think we need an MBA for startups. In fact, Elon Musk criticizes this degree as it's a complete waste of time. I agree with Elon Musk on this one. Although I disagree with so many things on Elon Musk with, I agree with him on this one. If selected, how are we going to pay the developers? Mohammad Mohsin, who told you you are going to pay the developers? And who told you there are any developers? You are the developer, you will develop your idea. Okay, and जानने के लिए please apply and get interviewed. So we'll take last three questions, guys, in the interest of time. Should I have to learn all the skills like managing financial, sales, marketing, or should I hire people for a startup? No, you should not hire anybody for your startup. You are going to be employee number one for a really long time. You will be the one handling sales, marketing, jhadu, pocha, product development, customer support, and literally everything and anything in your company. So no, you're not going to hire people. And this is exactly what Adventure Park is going to help you with. We help you learn, all these things, how to tackle all these things at Adventure Park. Tony Stark, don't you think medical students need to be well versed in coding given this field is booming? I hardly can think about a field where this degree is an instrumental. All right, so Tony Stark, you see this, the hacking school. I started India's first coding bootcamp. I brought the coding bootcamp culture in India in 2013. I run code.in, which is India's largest coding platform. So I obviously have a bias towards it. And I think everybody should learn how to code because it's a superpower, right? But then not coding is not going to make you handicapped. Okay. Not coding is not going to kill you. Not coding will not make you feel left out, right? So coding is important. If you are getting an opportunity to learn how to code, then you should learn how to code. But then if you don't feel like coding, you should not. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule that you should code. So yes, it is not. But then if you have the knack for it, you should pick it up. If you have the opportunity, if you are getting an opportunity to learn how to code, then you should pick it up because, like I told you, it's a superpower. It's an additional skill set, and I really think doctors can make great use of it. What about a ambulance service like Uber and Ola? There is a company called StanPlus, Saksham. Hello. There's a company called StanPlus, which is Uber and Ola for ambulances. But then I'm not going to evaluate your ideas on the call here because we don't have the time for it. Please submit your application form and we can take it forward from there. Atika, please stop putting in questions here. Will EVP invest in our startup if we need money to make our products? What do we do? Aisha se dekha. Yes, we also invest companies, but that is the last question you should be asking because investment is the last thing that you need to run your company, to start your company. Okay, Rahul Sharma, should I be a sole founder or should I try to form a team? If you have a team, great. If you don't have a team, no problem. You can submit it as a single founder yourself. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you so much. It was fun, and we have exceeded the time. I can answer your questions, and I'll take your questions on Instagram directly. So feel free to ping me. I'm not sure if you can hear me out right now, but I loved it, and I really hope you guys liked it as much as I did. Please take 1 minute out and submit that feedback form. It means the world to us. So thank you, and over to you guys.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you joining here. And thanks again, Miraj, Iyas, and Deba for associating with IMA. And we will see you next time. And guys, please do fill the feedback form. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.